We are now joined by Courtney Biggs, Centralized Admission and Marketing Director of Medilodge. Also this year's fireworks sponsor for Balloon Fest and another one of our incredible community partners. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't you take a few minutes to introduce yourself to our listeners and kind of share your background with us along with your career path that led you to Medilodge.
Yeah, so I've been working for Medilodge about a year now. Prior to this, I've always worked in the healthcare field. I graduated from University of Michigan with a Bachelor's of Science with a major in gerontology, and from there I worked in a couple different assisted livings and home health cares from there, and I started with this company a little over a year ago, which I've absolutely loved. I worked in their Livingston building originally, but now I've been promoted to centralized admissions, which I've loved the last couple months.
Wonderful. So centralized admissions covers multiple locations.
Yes.
So do you have locations outside of Livingston County?
Right now, no, I just cover Livingston County.
Okay, perfect. So why don't you, Balloon Fest is right around the corner.
Yes.
So we are super excited to be bringing back Balloon Fest in its traditional glory. The 3-day event, and we are thrilled to have Medilodge as one of our premier partners. So this year you are our fireworks sponsor, which is
Yes.
something that you've done for quite a few years in the past. And just I wanted to take a few minutes to kind of talk about why community involvement and community engagement is so important to Medilodge.
Yeah, so we did the Balloon Fest last year and we absolutely loved it. I mean, our favorite part about being out in the community is being able to, talk to different families and different other community members to see what the need in the community really is. So we are always looking for different events to go out and about and do, and to let people know kind of what we offer, because I think, nursing home is such a old term that we want to kind of broaden our horizons outside of that term to really let people know what we offer, especially because I cover 2 different buildings, at Howell and at Livingston building. They both offer 2 different services, and we just want to make sure the community is aware of that, and so that they can understand when they're looking for a loved one who needs placement, kind of what we can offer them.
And that is so very, very important, because when you're in the thick of that situation
Yes.
within your family, it's very hard to step back and
Yes.
kind of get your bearings together. So it's nice to have these little snippets of information available.
I know lots of families will reach out to us after the Balloon Fest and be like, I talked to you for not even 5 minutes, but now I'm in this situation that I didn't imagine myself in, and can you help us out with this? And then half the time they're like, what are the steps that I need to go forward to help with this situation? And usually I'll even go to hospitals to on-site patients, like their loved ones, to see kind of what we can do to help offer whatever they need.
Well, you kind of did my segue for me, so thank you. I really want to make sure that you do get the opportunity to kind of highlight, because you do have 2 facilities right here in Livingston County, in pretty close proximity to each other. So what is, first of all, what's the differences between the 2 buildings, and what are the services that you offer within each of those buildings?
Yeah, so our Livingston building specializes in a variety of different things, including ventilation care. They have their own respiratory department there, so they can do ventilation and trachs. They also have a dialysis unit. We also have a memory care unit there as well as we can do short-term rehab and long-term care there. Our Howell facility does have a secure memory care unit and really does great with their long-term care and short-term rehab right now.
So with the long-term, like the memory care, how has that benefited your facilities? That is it seems to be a very prevalent need within the community.
Yes. We get lots of calls all the time, even from home, and they're like, hey, my mother lives with me right now and we're really struggling. She wanders, or we're just having a hard time at night with her. So usually we're able to help in that aspect when people just can't care for their loved ones anymore at home, or their wife or their husband. And our memory care unit, especially at the Howell facility, is locked, so they can safely wander and be cared for in a safe environment. There even is an little outdoor patio that they can go on, and their family can come in and visit them. But unfortunately, dementia is one of the most progressive diseases kind of out there right now, and there is no cure, obviously. So having a specialized unit for those individuals is really benefit a lot of different people, because being able to wander safely is super important and be cared for in that manner.
Absolutely. It's such a relief off of the family's shoulders as well,
Yes.
knowing that they aren't going to wake up and find their loved one not where they thought they should be, or
that's absolutely a worst fear of anyone.
not knowing where they're at, or
Mhm.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine that. But it's you talked a little bit about the fact that so many people find themselves in a position such as that, and then they don't even know what to do.
Right.
Like, what is the first step, or what are the steps that somebody should take when they find themselves in a position like that?
We do have a lot of people that call us even if they're not ready for placement. They call us just to get those steps, and it could be securing the financials to know like how much it's going to cost, or if they need Medicaid in place, or if they have a long-term care insurance that can pay for that. The next thing is like making sure that they're going to their doctor, they're taking their loved one to the doctor's office to make sure they're up on their medications and everything like that. We do home visits as well as hospital visits to kind of assess residents to see where they're at, because they might not be ready for a facility. Maybe they need more care at home, and we do have resources as well to help refer people to home care services, as well as even just smaller buildings that aren't as high care as us, so like different adult foster cares or assisted livings. So even just calling us if they're just really not sure if they're ready for that process, we can help them walk them through the process with no commitment.
So you're actually that resource for them, where
Absolutely, yes.
if that isn't maybe the right place for them at that moment, or they're not to that point yet, you can help them find places that are able to help with the needs that they have presently.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. So talk a little bit about your newly renovated therapy room that you have at your Howell location.
Yes, so we have this huge, gorgeous room with absolutely like huge, big windows. And so we just spent the whole winter renovating it. It's actually not open yet, but it should be open towards the end of June, and we will be doing a grand opening. So we will announce it on Facebook and stuff when we do that grand opening. But it's just supposed to be very relaxing and bright, and just a very motivating environment for somebody who's maybe just fallen at home and doesn't really want to go to a rehab, but this allows them to feel more comfortable when they're at a rehab to work harder, just because it feels more relaxing. And you know, it's all about environment, and we wanted to make sure that we had the perfect therapy environment for someone to like really work towards their goals.
So that's for someone who is actually a resident in one of your facilities.
Yes.
And you use it as a tool to kind of help motivate them
Yes.
to maybe do some things, maybe some therapies that they might not want to do, just in the hopes of being able to go home, or
Yes.
have a little bit more mobility and kind of get back to that independent
Yes.
lifestyle that they're used to. So you said that opens at the end of June.
That's what we're hoping for. I know they were doing some last final touches, so as soon as I know the exact date, we'll release it on our Facebook page.
And are these type of therapy rooms, are these new things kind of coming into different facilities? Is this something newer on the therapy spectrum, or is it just always been there and now it's something that you're able to offer?
We've always had a great therapy team at this facility, as well as all of our facilities, honestly, but we just wanted a better environment to have our therapy. Like, we've used this therapy room for years and years and years, but we wanted to do just a little renovation to it to make it just more brighter and open, and just feel a lot better for our residents coming in.
I'm sure it's wonderful for the employees too, and
Yes.
the staff. A
Yes.
little respite to be able to go and take a little break during the
Yes.
day. And
Well, they actually
sit
just
and-
got a new break room. They redid the whole break room, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And they've got like bar stools and countertops in there. There's a nice TV, new chairs and tables. So our staff are getting a little treat too.
Oh, wonderful.
So.
Well, again, we kind of segued into a very hot topic, and something that many businesses are struggling, and it's just a challenge for everybody right now, and that is it's not always employee recruitment, but it's also retention. It's, you
Yes.
have this amazing staff, and you want to be able to keep them. You want them to want to stay with
Right.
you. So talk about some of your open positions that you have, and what Medilodge does, obviously with the remodeling of the break room, things that you've done, or things that you've kind of have worked for you in your retention efforts.
Well, we're hiring for nurses right now, LPNs, CNAs. Our Livingston building is hiring for respiratory therapists, an MDS coordinator, and a life enrichment director as well. We do a variety of different things. My favorite part about this company, honestly, is just the environment for sure. So our favorite thing that we did in the past was like a Kona ice truck, and I know our Howell building is gonna do one, I think, in June, where Kona Ice comes and gives slushies to all of our workers, to our residents, to the community members, or we'll do a food truck day, or we do just a variety of different things, or we even have like a scrub bus come in and you can buy your scrubs right on site, and some of the girls will do like little matching scrubs. We just finished National Nursing Home Week, where we did different theme days, including Livingston did like a superhero day, and they get lunches all the time. So it's definitely a really, really fun environment. It's not what I have had in the past, so I've absolutely loved it. And it really gives you like an excitement to go to work in the morning when you know like something's going on like that.
Well, and that is, it's so true. It's just finding those little things that really resonate with people, and it doesn't have to be big, spectacular, gestures. It's just like you said, bringing in a food truck just to have something. I mean, how nice is it when you bring, your everyday lunch to work, and then you're like, oh, a food truck, and you get something different that you weren't expecting. Yeah. So that's truly is thinking outside of the box, and that's what, like we said, so many businesses have had to do lately, and it's refreshing to see that Medilodge has kind of, they really want to make sure that their employees are valued and that their employees feel that. I know that you do that with your residents as well, because you have a lot of different activities and things that you do to involve your families and really the community with the residents. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Well, the biggest thing obviously coming up is Balloon Fest. We do plan on taking some residents with us to help man our booth, as well as go see the balloons. Both buildings are in a great location to be able to actually see the balloons if the residents aren't able to travel, because we do have some that just aren't able to go. But our employees will be there as well. We have some coming by the booth or just going out and about. But that's one of their favorite events every year that they look forward to. So that's the biggest thing coming up. But yeah, our residents do take place in a lot of our employee engagement too. So like I said, the Kona ice truck, they get to kind of benefit. If we do have a food truck, we do offer it to them as well. Or we just have different like picnics and activities that they get to enjoy as well.
Well, I see them advertised, and I know that we try to put as many of those on our community calendar as well.
Yes, thank you.
So, we want to make sure that everybody is aware of what's going on and just go out. Sometimes they just want to, they're cooped up. They just want to have people come and say hello and just have that interaction. So why don't you share with our listeners where Medilodge of Howell and Medilodge of Livingston are located?
They're both off of Grand River Road. Medilodge of Howell is across from the high school. And then Medilodge of Livingston is kind of kitty corner to Tomato Brothers.
And if someone does have questions or has concerns about their loved ones and really just doesn't know where to go, what is the best way for them to reach someone or yourself at Medilodge?
They can call either of the buildings just by Googling us, or they can call my direct line at 313-530-1044.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming in today, Cortney, and just sharing a little bit more about the whole Medilodge organization. We're thrilled to have you here in this community and the work that you do. I truly believe it is a calling. My mom worked at Howell Care Center for years as the director of nurses. So I do believe it really is a calling. Yeah. And thank you for all the work that you do.
Yes, thank you for having me.